Welcome, everybody, to the AI verse. And in this particular episode, I'll be covering Midjourney and also covering text to image. So, all the different kinds of text to image platforms that I've used. And so, once a month, I connect with all my meditation buddies around the world and we learn about these artificial intelligence tools. We, in particular, the ones who run meditation centers, we really want to utilize these tools to help us run these centers more efficiently, because really this is the world that is blossoming in front of us. So we want to be at the forefront of that, and we want to take advantage of the amazing quality of these tools and really stay on the forefront of learning these things. So, okay, now let's actually give it a go. So what we're going to do first of all is text to image on Midjourney. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of what Midjourney is. So there is a very limited free version. That's probably the only downside to this, but it's my personal favorite. It produces the best images, and I think it's just hands down one of the best text to image AI tools out there. The way that you do this is you just use natural and simple language. So it's not complicated at all. So you just be descriptive if you want something specific, or you can actually be vague if you want to explore with the imagination of the artificial intelligence. So, for example, this particular image in the background, I just asked for a visual representation of what Midjourney is in a beautiful, bright and colorful way. Now, I can make that as specific and detailed as I want to. If I have this exact image of what I want to produce, then I have the detail. But if I want to be vague and I want this to actually produce something for me, I can just be vague and it will produce all different kinds of outputs. So I'll show you some examples in just a minute. So for better or for worse, it actually does require a bit of experimentation to get it right. So it's not as simple as just it's not necessarily as simple as just typing something in. It's going to give you the image straight away. It does take some practice on what kind of words that I need to write. But again, the simpler and more natural the language is, the better. So there's also different types of prompts to produce different types of images. So this is where the learning curve is probably the most steep, but it's not really that big of a deal. I've been doing things without these specific kinds of prompts for months and months. And only now I'm trying to experiment with what these types of prompts mean. So you can actually really just ask Google or YouTube, and the world is already giving you all the answers. So there's nothing to be afraid of. And I thought this is actually quite interesting. So just as a side note, every time that I've asked Midjourney or some kind of AI bot to produce something related to AI, like to visually represent artificial intelligence, it always produces something that is female. I find that very fascinating. It's never produced a male. So there you go. Who was the one that told us to start learning about artificial intelligence? So Midjourney, I'll first copy and paste this in the chat. So you should be able to open it up with that link. So that's the Midjourney. I don't know if it's going to take you straight to the Midjourney app, but it's connected to Discord. So I just typed Midjourney and it's already got me logged in. So these are all the different kinds of images that I've produced. I'd never seen this before today, actually. I didn't know that there was some kind of online platform where I could see all the images that I've produced. But so here's an example of something where it's called the aspect ratio. So I've produced images so it fits to the phone. So this is how I make my Instagram reels. I'm experimenting with that. Otherwise, it just produces something that's a square. Then you've got different kinds of aspect ratios. The kind of prompts that I enter into it will produce different kinds of output. So I always put beautiful, bright colors because I love the colors. So I'm always trying to do things with colors, just all different kinds of things. Then there's these. I wonder if I can actually click on them and it upscales it. Oh, yeah. So for example, these are the prompts that I've put in here. So obviously it is a realistic, bright, colorful, vibrant, light-filled image. So this is producing something that's more quote unquote lifelike, as opposed to this, which looks more just like it's less lifelike. It's more like a painting, and I've kept it very simple. So this is Ralph Waldo Emerson in beautiful, bright colors, and it's not photorealistic. So it depends on what kind of prompts that you put into it. And there's so many. I just did a quick Google search and just to show you what kind of things you can do. So, these are all the different kinds of things you can produce. That you could do things like this, where it's just illustrations. People are doing like paper art, hyper realistic water photography. I might click on that. That looks quite interesting. So, I mean, look how realistic this looks. This is Midjourney. So a vast ocean of water with sparkling, crisp, radiant reflection, sunlight gleaming, Canon 35mm lens, hyper realistic photography style of Unsplash. So I don't have these kind of prompts, sunlight gleaming, Canon photography. So it's not going to produce an image that looks like that. But if you want it to produce an image that looks like somebody's taken it with this Canon 35mm lens and it's hyper realistic, then you just simply enter it into the prompts. I mean, this stuff is amazing. So anyway, if you haven't yet, get your Discord up and running. Here's the coffee. Here's that coffee that we did the other day when I was with our Africa team. So it's all on here, everything that I've ever tried to produce, which is really, really cool. And you can see all these different kinds of colors, really lovely, and all these different kinds of styles. And then once you have, I will just quickly show you, when you connect to Midjourney, it will come up as a server. So I'm also connected to the server. So which one is it in? It's in my, I'm connected to quite a few different servers here. So here we go. Here's the Midjourney one. So you're going to get all these different channels and you're going to think, oh, wow, this is really overwhelming. And so if you want to start producing things for free, you just go to one of these general image generations. So as I said, you'll get a certain amount when it's free. So you could click on one of these, and all you need to do is type /imagine, and then you enter into your prompt. So whatever you imagine, you can enter into here. So I'm not sure if it's going to let me do this with the free version, but for example, is there anything is there anything, just type something. So a visual representation. Let's see if it gives me another woman of what artificial intelligence is. And let's just see what it does. I don't know if it's going to give it to me privately. Now, this is the difficult thing, because everybody else is also doing this. You're going to have to like scroll through and find where your image is. So it's a little bit annoying, to be honest. And you only get a very limited amount for free. But I mean, look at this. What a cool picture this is. An old Saudi vintage man riding a horse, Cubism style, abstract. So he's applied Cubism style. So if you have a favorite painter, you can apply the painter's style to this Cubism abstract. I mean, it's phenomenal. It's quite literally unlimited. Gosh, so yeah, then here we go. Again, all women. Look at that. A visual representation of what artificial intelligence is. So then you'll see this is basically, it's only just the Midjourney bot that's telling whatever you've put there, it's going to tell you what your prompt is, and then @Steven. So I think if you get lost, I think you might be able to copy, or at least when you type your prompt, just at least copy it. So I think you might be able to type it into this search, and it might jump. Ah, damn, it doesn't do it. Okay, so you kind of just got to look for it, which is it can be a bit tricky. So you also might go, well, I'm going to go to a different channel where there's a lot less action, and see if you can work your way through there where there's not as many things being produced, so you don't have to try to find it. But in any case, have a go. Imagine, like I said, type anything that you want, and then let's do this for 10-15 minutes, see how you find it. If there's any questions that you want to ask, please ask. And yeah, just go for your life. Or if there's any help that you need, just let me know. I use it a lot. I use it for my blogs, I use it for my reels, I use it for everything. So I really enjoy using it. But I get a bot, so it's like a personal chat bot that I can just say anything that I want. So one of the images that I produced for the Midjourney was a beautiful, bright and colorful visual representation of what Midjourney, this application /AR/software is. And the AR is aspect ratio 16:9. So then it gives you always 4 images, and then you can upscale the images to make them bigger. So I've chosen image number 2 and image number 4. Or you can also do a variance of those images. So I could say, oh, I kind of like this 4, but I want to see different kinds of images. So I'll press V4. So these are the upscaled ones. And then you can really hone in on these particular images. So you can go into it and vary certain aspects of it. So if I think that's just automatically going to do it. But if I could go to a region of something and say, oh, I don't really like, I don't know, the nose. So let's see if I do that there and see if it gives me a different nose, just for example. So here we go. Here's the variance of this one here that it's producing now. So it will take a few minutes, sorry, a few seconds. Oh, and no, this one. So this one is the variation of this one that I pressed. So very strong. So it's going to give me 4 different variations of this. And that's this one. I mean, you know, really lovely images. And then why is it? Oh, which one is the one with the nose? Variation by region. So let's see if it's done. Ah, yeah. So you can see the nose. Everything else is different, but here the lighting on the nose is a bit different to here, to here, to here. There's just different things going on around the nose. So you can do that as well if there's something that you don't really like. And then this is the one that's the variation of this particular image. So, you know, they're all really cool, right? So yeah, it's just endless, endless, endless. So, you know, when I write a blog, I always try and have like 1 image per section. So then, you know, this particular one, I wanted some consistency on the blog. So I asked for a white background with beautiful bright colors. So all the images have a white background with colors. Very simple. It was about meditation and yoga. So asking for a yoga pose. And yeah, very, very cool. So, okay. So the other ones are Canva. So you can either go to apps and then you press text to image. And then it will ask you if you want to use an existing design. So I've pressed to use an existing design. So I just found an existing design, or we can just do a new one. So I've already opened that up here. So this is Canva. It uses a different, it's like different technology, a different engine. So it produces different kinds of images. But when it comes to, oh no, this one was produced in Midjourney, and I just copied it and pasted it. But this one here is produced, it's called Stable Diffusion. So this one's produced by Canva. Oh, that one was also Midjourney. Oh, these are all Midjourney ones. Oh, this is pretty. Oh, here we go. So you can see there's quite a big difference. It's getting better and better to when I first started using it, but you know, you see the lips, the accuracy, but this particular one is free. So this is a free one that the creators of this have basically just distributed it to the world, and anyone can use it for free. So obviously it's kind of lacks the quality as well. They're Midjourney, they're also Midjourney. So yeah, you can really tell the difference. I mean, even this is Canva. So yeah, okay, it kind of looks real, but again, it's not as realistic, and things are a bit skewed and just not as not as intelligent. So this is when I was writing about my water fast. So this guy's just he's eating water. So anyway, it gives you all sorts of funky things. And then Leonardo AI. So I'll copy and paste these, and I've never used Leonardo AI. So this is actually what I was going to experiment with today, but I've heard really good things about it. So there's Canva. So I just showed you how to get there with Canva. And the other one is BlueWillow. So this is a free one that's also on Discord. So I'll post this link as well. BlueWillow is actually really good. You just use /imagine, same principle as Midjourney, and you just connect through Discord. So I'm going to copy and paste all these. I'll copy and paste all these links now. Genmo AI is another one, which is quite promising. So Genmo.ai. I've typed this prompt here, an energetic being becoming one with the universe. And this is the little video that it's given me. So it actually generates short little videos too. So that's really quite cool. But of course, because this is text to image, it does the same thing. So you just go along the side here, the left-hand side, you press images, and I've just logged in with my my Gmail, and I've produced the images here. So this is something that's probably a little bit easier. If you find things like BlueWillow being in Discord overwhelming and stressful, then I'd strongly recommend a platform like this and Canva. Okay, so in conclusion, we covered 5 different AI text to image generators. So the first one we had was Midjourney, and unfortunately, the trial is currently off. It may resume in the future, so just keep your eye on that. And in my opinion, Midjourney is the best one. It produces the best images, and I'm happy to pay for it because I use it to create these kinds of images behind me. The second one we looked at was, well, the second ones that I mentioned was Canva. So you can go to Canva. Canva, you can just create a free a free account, and you can use the text to image generator as well there. And again, you'll have a daily limit. That one's a lot simpler. It's a bit tricky to navigate to, but I showed you how to get there. So just get there and you type whatever you want on there, and it uses stable diffusion technology. The other ones we covered was Leonardo AI. I actually didn't get an opportunity to try that. When I did try to test it, I'd heard a lot of good things about it, but you have to be whitelisted. So at the moment, I registered for the whitelist and I am waiting. So I'm looking forward to actually trying that out, and I will cover that potentially in a future episode. And then we had BlueWillow. So BlueWillow was on Discord, and one of the comments that we actually received in the class was that it was probably a little bit stressful with all these different, with competing with everybody else. And it's probably the same when you're doing the trial version of Midjourney. It's quite complicated. And to be honest, I also found it to be that I also thought that when I was testing them back in the day. So that's why I really liked having that bot. So if that was a problem for you and it's something that you don't like, I would recommend Canva. And then the fifth one that I recommended was Genmo. So that's another little gem that I found, which also produces videos, text to video. So very short, but that's okay. And in future episodes, I will be going over text to video. But if you would like to know more about this kind of content and any kind of content that you'd like, please leave a comment. Please let me know what things you're interested in having me and my meditation buddies and our team reviewing. So with us collectively putting our minds together, we're really able to identify what the best products are out there for all of us to use. So thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and see you soon.